A man accidentally lost his Rolex watch worth over $1 million. He dove into the ocean to search for it but ended up finding a solid gold dagger buried in the sand. As a professional treasure hunter, he and his team suspected there might be a much bigger treasure hidden beneath the seabed. They returned to the site with equipment. After marking the coordinates, they used a metal detector to search the area. When the detector started reacting strongly, they began clearing away the seabed sediment. They discovered a corroded metal chain. Following the chain, they found an ancient cannon. They secured it with lifting straps and attempted to haul it up. But just then, the crew on the boat sounded an alarm. The Coast Guard was approaching. They had no choice but to halt the recovery. The next day, when they dove again, they unexpectedly found a ballast stone. John quickly surfaced to inform his teammates. They suspected there might be a shipwreck nearby. They launched a search but only found scattered metal fragments. As they were about to give up, John noticed a strange glint in the distance. He swam over to investigate and discovered airplane wreckage. Inside the cabin, they found it filled with bags of flour. Jack suggested selling some of the flour to raise funds, but John and Laura decided to dump it back into the sea. They were worried it might interfere with their treasure hunting plans. However, Jack secretly took a few bags and contacted a buyer on the black market. The buyer turned out to be the original owner of the flour. The boss immediately detained Jack and threatened John, demanding the return of all the goods within a time limit. As John prepared to dive again, he was stopped by members of the drug cartel. He was forced to hand over the gold dagger, but as soon as he did, he was shot and killed. It turned out that Mark, another teammate, was also after the cargo. Soon after, John received a call. Laura had been kidnapped by Mark. Mark threatened to harm her unless John recovered all the flour. John had no choice but to agree. When they arrived at the site, John suddenly dove into the water. Mark and his men followed, but when they reached the wreck, they found all the flour bags had been slashed open. John's teammates had acted in advance. In the chaos, John hid inside the cabin and, along with his teammates, defeated Mark's men. Desperate, Mark prepared to fight to the end. John smashed an oxygen tank, and the explosion destroyed both Mark and the wreckage. Afterward, they returned to the shipwreck site to resume the cannon recovery, but the steel cable snapped, and the cannon crashed down, breaking through the sunken ship, revealing a hidden stash of gold bars. At last, they had uncovered an astonishing fortune.